Have you ever met someone for the first time, instantly formed an opinion about them, good or bad, only to discover much later that your initial gut feeling was completely, utterly wrong? It's a common experience, almost universally frustrating, and there's a fascinating psychological reason for it. Your brain, in its quest for efficiency, often plays a sneaky trick on you. It turns out those initial judgments aren't just quick, they're lightning fast. In the blink of an eye, often before a single word is even spoken, your brain has already made significant assumptions. We're talking about a fraction of a second, an unconscious process that shapes our entire perception of a new person you encounter. Princeton psychologist Alexander Todorov conducted groundbreaking research that perfectly illustrates this. He discovered that people form judgments about a stranger's trustworthiness, competence, and even likability in a mere 100 milliseconds. Imagine seeing a book cover for a tenth of a second and immediately writing a full, detailed review of its contents. That's essentially what our brains do with people. We don't delve into chapters or paragraphs. We make sweeping conclusions based purely on the aesthetic and superficial presentation, a cover, not the actual story within. This incredibly rapid assessment process deeply impacts how we interact with others, from job interviews and dating to everyday social encounters. These subconscious verdicts, formed in an instant, can profoundly influence whether we trust someone, hire them, or even bother to get to know them further, often without any real basis. But the snap judgment is only the beginning of our brains deceiving us. Once that initial, often flawed, impression takes hold, it triggers another powerful cognitive bias called the halo effect. This phenomenon ensures that one positive trait casts a warm, misleading glow over everything else we perceive about a person. Identified by psychologist Edward Thorndike in 1920, the halo effect shows that if someone possesses one positive attribute, like physical attractiveness, we automatically assume they have other desirable qualities too. We mentally label them smarter, kinder, more competent, and even more trustworthy, often without any actual supporting evidence. Think about it. A celebrity found guilty of crime often receives lighter sentences or public sympathy simply because of their charisma or looks. We want to believe that attractive, successful people are also morally upright and intelligent, even when the evidence clearly suggests otherwise. It's a powerful and pervasive bias. Adding another layer of complexity, psychologist Solomon Asch's classic 1946 study revealed how the order in which you learn about someone's traits dramatically alters your impression. The sequence of information literally sculpts your perception, making the same qualities appear vastly different depending on how they're presented. For instance, if you hear someone described as intelligent, industrious, and then impulsive, you'll likely picture an ambitious, brilliant person with a minor, perhaps charming flaw. But if you hear impulsive, industrious, and then intelligent, your image shifts to a reckless individual whose intelligence might simply be a tool for their spontaneity. The words are identical, but the sequence completely changes the narrative your brain constructs. In our increasingly digital world, these impression-forming biases are amplified to an alarming degree. Our reliance on online profiles and filtered images creates an even more fertile ground for misjudgment. What you see online, it turns out, is often a carefully curated performance, not an accurate reflection of reality. A compelling 2015 study published in Social Psychological and Personality Science highlighted this stark inaccuracy. Researchers found that first impressions formed online, purely based on photos and brief bios, were frequently wildly off the mark when people met in person. Those rated as agreeable from their photos were often quite disagreeable face-to-face. This isn't just about dating apps. It impacts professional networking, online hiring, and even how we judge public figures. We often project our hopes and desires onto an idealized digital self, creating an impression that's more aspirational than actual. Our brains fill in the gaps with positive assumptions based on a single attractive photo. It reveals a fundamental truth about human perception. Our brains are built for efficiency, not necessarily accuracy, especially in initial encounters. To conserve cognitive energy, we take shortcuts, applying stereotypes and making quick leaps of logic. This served us well in primitive times, but it often misfires in our complex, nuanced society. So the truth about a person isn't a singular, instant snapshot. It's a dynamic, evolving story. We are not static entities defined by a tenth of a second or a perfectly filtered photo. Real understanding comes from time, observation, and a willingness to challenge our own ingrained biases, to look beyond the surface level. Understanding these psychological traps is the first step toward breaking free from them. The next time you meet someone new, consciously pause before allowing that immediate gut-level judgment to solidify. Remind yourself that your brain is designed to jump to conclusions, and those conclusions are frequently incorrect. Actively seek out disconfirming evidence. Instead of looking for reasons to support your initial impression, ask open-ended questions, listen intently, and observe behaviors that might contradict your initial snap judgment. Challenge your assumptions by consciously looking for nuance and complexity in their character. Practice what psychologists call situational attribution rather than dispositional attribution. Instead of thinking they're rude because they're a rude person, consider perhaps they're having a bad day or something external is affecting their behavior. This shifts focus from inherent personality flaws to circumstantial factors. Give people the grace of a second, third, or even fourth chance. Many wonderful relationships, both personal and professional, wouldn't exist if people adhered strictly to their initial, often harsh, assessments. True character unfolds over time, not in a fleeting moment, allowing for genuine connection to form. Finally, embrace the beautiful complexity of human beings, including yourself. Recognize that you are more than your first impression, and so is everyone else. By consciously overriding these ancient biases, you open yourself to richer relationships and a much deeper, more accurate understanding of the world around you. The human mind is a powerful, yet often flawed, instrument. Learning how it subtly manipulates our perceptions is key to navigating our social world with greater insight and empathy. Don't let your brain's efficient shortcuts limit your understanding of the incredible people you encounter. The truth is always far more interesting than the initial lie.